first thing on my video. As soon as I start talking, it'll cut out one time. Maybe not. Usually it waits till I say the date. All right, we'll try. So it's September 28th, 2020. We are 28 out of 30 days into Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. I'm Tony. This is Maud. Maud and I are walking tonight, as I've walked every day this month, 3/4 of a mile in memory of our son Sam, who passed away in January of this year after a 4-year fight with neuroblastoma. And we're walking to try to raise some awareness for what the kids and the families go through. Also, we're raising funds for a great organization, Alex's Lemonade Stand, that's focused on the long-term fight with research grants, and also the short-term fight, just helping families, cancer kids, cancer families, cancer siblings who are in the fight. Yesterday was a little crazy, so I first want to say thank you to everybody for that. I don't know if you guys really got the full thing of what happened yesterday, but unbeknownst to me, I came out of the house and there were like some of my favorite families next door getting ready to walk with me, and I was like, oh, that's amazing, we got like 20 people who are gonna walk today. And I hit the alley behind the house where the walk starts, and there were about 50 people more, and I hit the ground and cried, and then got back up and said thank you to everyone, and you know, it was amazing. It was like the rest of that day I was just emotionally drained from everything that happened all at once. Today we were going to talk a little bit about, I'll let it be up to you. Do you want to talk about what it's like? Oh, you want to talk about Disney World? That's easier.
What's the other?
The other option is, so, you know, when I am with Sam in hospital, so the two times that we were like separate for a long time, how are y'all? Were when Sam went through his stem cell transplant. That was a month over at Cook Children's in Fort Worth. And then the other one was, New York was there were lots of weeks where we were separated, but there was one long month in October of last year, where we were caught off guard and didn't know that I was going to be staying up there for a month. And Maud actually got to come up for about the last week of it. Was that? Yeah,
like
that was that. Yeah.
Mid-October.
Or something in the middle. So like for us, for Sam and I, you know, when we're doing that, that is, like, I know how to occupy that time and what to do. Cook's was different because we had to be in the room all the time. So lots of video games and crispy chicken. When we were in New York, I mean, lots of treatment crammed in, but then also, when he was feeling up to it, lots of like get up and go time.
And just like a new place to
and
explore.
fun things. Yeah. And we would go pick new places, hop on the subway. And then, you know, when he took a turn for the worse there for a little while, I mean, he was out of it on pain meds for a lot of the time. He was in their ICU, and so I was working and getting stuff done. But I've always kind of wondered, like,
What do I do?
what are you doing other than working way too hard? Maud works way too hard. Like, she's really good at what she does, and she's passionate about it, and it shows. She works really hard.
I spend a lot of time worrying, but so a lot of working to help me not think about maybe what Sam was, the pain he was going through, or what was happening too.
So you kind of fill your time too, huh?
Yeah. And then, you know, for the first one, it was just Emmy. So it was a lot of me and Emmy, and kind of worrying to make sure that I was doing everything I needed to do for Emmy, like emotionally. Because just trying to help her understand, and then coming home at night or after our day or after her school day, to just us and not having you guys there and trying not to have us feel lonely. We didn't have like sports to go to.
Yeah, a playroom that you could like, and that's kind of what I mean is.
Yeah, so I felt lonely.
Yeah, I always felt like in a lot of ways you had things tougher than I did. You know, just because I know how badly you wanted to be there.
Yeah, there was always regret for not being there with him too. Not being able to be in two places at once. But Emmy still played a lot of sports and did stuff, so she would keep kind of busy, and really she would just sleep in our room.
Yeah.
We'd just pick a show to watch and kind of at the end of the night to help us both forget and go to sleep.
Well, and I mean, sometimes I think about what a different experience it would have been for all of us if you and I were like switched places. Because, like, I missed you all the time and was lonely, but also made a ton of new friends.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, I tend to talk. Especially if there are people around, but it doesn't have to necessarily be people. And so we met a lot of friends. And I know you would have made friends too, but I think it would have been a very different way. Sam would have found them for you.
That's true.
And poor Emmy, like, I don't know if she could have handled just me for a month.
Yeah, well,
Like,
and I think so the last time when y'all were in New York, Ben was little, right?
Yeah.
Ben was not even a year old. So it was, I think there was a lot of extra. I know there was a lot of extra put on to Emmy because I had to focus on.
She was 10 at that time. Ben was born in July, and that was October. So yeah,
He was,
that was 3 months
he was,
old.
He was, no.
No? Do I have my timing wrong? Oh no, he was a year and 3 months old.
He was a year and 3 months old. So just
Poor third kid.
moving around enough to be trouble. You know, not quite independent, but wanting to try to be independent. Like, yeah. And so, I mean, really gained a lot of independence.
Yeah. Well, it's, she's always, her nickname has always been Teacher Emmy because she's always done really well with little kids, little brothers, and other people's little kids. Like, that's just kind of what she does. And I don't know how much of, how much one comes from the other as far as, was she good with other people's kids because of taking care of Sam a little bit growing up? Or the other way around? It's just kind of, I think it's kind of just who she is. I do know, speaking of different experiences, because the nurses would tell us all the time that, like, the way that you and I handled being in the hospital was very different. Can you remember any of those conversations?
Like, I don't know really how you mean. I mean, a lot of the times for me, most of the time you would do the weekdays and I would do the weekends. But even that was hard because I never really got like a weekend break.
Yeah.
Or if I tried to do the weeknights, I was coming from
School,
work.
yeah, school was miserable.
Taking a change of clothes so I could hurry and change in the morning when you would come and then go to work. But, I mean, right, it was at that time worth it because then I got to spend time with Sam.
Yeah.
Through all of it, that was, right, none of it was easy. You just kind of had to pick and choose, like, do the hard stuff.
Yeah. What worked.
What felt right and what worked at the
Which,
time.
you know, I feel like, for the most part, like, none of it was easy, but picking and choosing those pieces kind of was.
Yeah. Well, it just, for us, that's what
It's just how it
seemed
was.
to make sense. And
Yeah.
what was needed, right, both for our family
Yeah.
in a lot of different ways. Like, so,
I'm not going to mess with that.
yeah, yeah.
There's a big truck blocking the alley, so it should theoretically be the same, right? We're walking in squares. So,
But yeah, I'm sure I did a lot of like looking up a lot of things on my own and then asking about it, where you probably asked things just outright
yeah.
in the hospital.
That was always tough, because Maud would have a list of things I was supposed to ask, and I'd try to write them all down, make sure I covered them all, but like,
You always do a good
well,
job.
you know, I
just-
tried, but
I'm
you know, it's hard being the go-between one parent and the doctor, and I'm sure, you know, when I had questions, I'm sure it was tough for you too, because you're trying to remember everything the doctor says. And a lot of times in my case, that's at like 7:30 in the morning, and I roll out of bed like trying to just shake the sleep out of my eyes.
Yeah, no, where I would be like up, I'd make sure I'd have his breakfast ordered. I want to be like ready for the doctors to come in.
Yep.
But yeah.
It was always interesting when both of us were there, because like, you could definitely tell our management styles were clashing.
I don't think so.
No? Oh,
No.
maybe it was just me. Like, I think that maybe it was that we both were so used to, like, when we were there, kind of taking the lead for his care.
Oh.
And so that
yeah,
got a little
okay.
confusing when we were both there.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a better way to put it.
When you want what's best for your kid, it's just,
Yeah.
I know it's gonna be really loud.
Now we got a chainsaw too. It's a busy night in the neighborhood.
I think it's more fun though to talk about the year before, unless you want to save that for a whole nother one.
You want to tell them about the Disney World trip?
Yeah.
I've been teasing it for a while.
I think
feel
that
like-
was
Getting it done. No, I'm sure I can come up with something to talk about tomorrow and Wednesday. Go
No,
for
that
it.
was-
I'm gonna
that
put you
was-
on lead.
that was fun because, I mean, I think like Tony said, in the beginning it was a little hard to like actually go through with that trip, but in the end, looking back now, I'm so thankful we were able to have that trip.
Yeah, yeah,
Because you don't really want to feel like you have to make that trip through a Make-A-Wish or
right.
some other organizations that do that.
There's a lot of
Um,
stuff attached to, like, emotional stuff attached to that
Yeah.
trip.
Ben was, at that time he was 3 months old.
Yes.
Coco got to take care of Ben.
Yeah, Ben stayed home,
And I think they all got sick, but they saved that until after we got back.
which was
To
sweet
tell
of
us.
them. That was sweet of them. So, for y'all who don't know, what we're talking about is Sam got a wish from Make-A-Wish, and he wanted to go to Disney World because we had never been. And so there was a big reveal at the house with balloons and a cake and a Yoda, right? Saying Sam's going to Disney World.
It was a cookie cake.
Cookie cake Yoda, that's right. And it was scheduled for Christmas 2017.
Yes.
And we did not go Christmas 2017 because, see prior video, Sam was in a coma.
Yep.
And we were not happy. We were very scared. So, it was rescheduled once he got better to Thanksgiving 2018.
18.
And so,
Which actually, I mean, was a blessing in disguise. I don't know. God works through little things, because he was actually tall enough to go on all the rides
Yeah.
and do all the things.
Yeah.
Where if we'd actually been able to go the year before,
yeah, he would have been
That
too short
wouldn't-
for a lot of stuff.
I don't know, we wouldn't have gotten to do as much.
Yeah.
So I'll take those little wins.
The so like this when you take a Make-A-Wish trip, like, we were very well taken care of. It blew even my expectations out of the water. So
Yeah.
we show up at the airport, we're all wearing our they're like, wear your Make-A-Wish t-shirts to the airport. So we did. Which they put us in the front of the lines. We boarded priority boarding. The kids, I'm not gonna have time to tell this story if
I
you walk
know.
this fast.
Oh, sorry.
Maybe we'll do a part 1, part 2.
But it was nice. We got picked up from the airport.
Yep.
They drove us to this place called Give Kids the World, which a lot of Wish.
It's almost
or
it's all Wish
organizations.
kids, right? Or organizations.
Like that. Stay.
Where so Give Kids the World is a bunch of like condos that you stay, and they've got meals, they've got entertainment, they have multiple swimming pools.
And it's mostly run by volunteers.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's an amazing place, and all the kids that are there are going through something, right? So it's another one of those places where a kid like Sam could be and feel normal, just like everybody else, which was great. We did. God, there's no way I'm gonna get through this whole
I
thing.
know.
I'm gonna have to. All right, we're gonna talk about the actual Disney World trip tomorrow, because I want to talk about it because it was such a great thing, and I want to give it time. But we're like 50 yards from the house now because Maud walks like a machine. Well, now you slowed it down. Now that I don't have anything to talk about, why don't you take us out? Remind them what we're doing.
Raising money.
Huh? For?
Alex's lemonade stands.
Huh? Because?
The kids.
Which ones?
All of them.
All the kids.
All the kids.
That's
Either.
the kids who are fighting cancer, the kids who are going to be fighting cancer, and their siblings.
And their
because this
friends.
affects the siblings, this affects their friends, this affects their parents.
I said all of them.
Okay, all of them. And do you want to remind them about voting?
You can vote for the cotton candy video
Yep.
or the head shave, which I feel like it's got, I don't know. I'm going to have to go on and do
Maud's
my own
gonna vote
donation
for the head shave. I love it. Jeff, we might be doing a live head shave on the 30th. We'll see
Maybe I'll
if you
vote
haven't
a
already
couple
done it.
times.
The way we're doing that, guys, is we're asking people to pop onto the link to the Alex's Lemonade Stand donation page. Donate $1 more for us. You can write in an amount, $1, and put whether you want cotton candy video or head shave video. And the winner, 2 days from now, we're gonna do it. We'll find a way to do it. Okay, guys, thank you so much for all of the love that you've given me and my family. Gosh, we only have 2 more of these. Wow. All right, guys, we'll see you tomorrow.